Welcome back to the Marco Just My podcast. So today I got my homie, my friend, one of my boys from San Diego. That's how I met him. Icey Almighty.
How you doing, everybody? We back with it. We back at it. We back again. Glad to be here with my boy. What's good with you, G?
So today we're gonna get into talking about fatherhood, right? So it's about fatherhood. We're gonna talk about a little sports here and there. As you can tell, my man's an Eagles fan. They're going back to the Super Bowl. Got Jalen Hurts, Patrick Mahomes, two black quarterbacks battling out for the Super Bowl. So we're gonna talk about that as well. But at the end of the day, we in here to drop some knowledge and just have a good time, bro.
Of course, that's all
Just
it's
catch the
about.
vibe. You see the lights, bro?
Of course, man. It's always a vibe, man.
You know what I'm saying? We got the red with the purple.
It's beautiful, bro. This is amazing. Hey, this shit look right, bro. And then I gotta give my boy props for going on, being able to set this up for the mobile shit, bro.
Yep.
You got it good, bro. The mobile stuff, you doing it. You doing it right. I appreciate all this, bro.
We're doing
Thank
this
you
on
for
the
having
go.
me here.
Doing this on the go. Wherever you at, if y'all feel like you got knowledge or you my brother, I'm trying to put y'all on. Cause I'll come up. So what we doing it for.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So let the people know a little bit about you, where you from.
What's up, people? It's your boy Icey Almighty. For those of y'all that don't know me, my name is Dietrich. I'm born and raised in Baltimore, Maryland. I'm not proud to say that all the way, but you know, it be what it be. Been in the Navy for about 7 years now. That's how I met my boy here. Like he said, I'm an Eagles fan. I love sports, gaming, anime. I'm just a chill dude that likes to vibe. So ain't really much to say, man. Father of two beautiful kids. My wife, beautiful wife, husband to a beautiful wife. I just love my family, and that's it, man.
Yeah. So we both fathers.
Mm-hmm.
All right. What are some of the challenges that you've found coming to this fatherhood?
The challenges of fatherhood are starting to like really kind of show itself now in the toddler phase of life.
Yeah.
But
It's 3 and 6 now, right?
yeah, because especially with my the hardest part especially is when you're a father who works as much as I do. Kids really vibe most often, especially my kids' presence is huge. Like for those of y'all that don't know or don't understand, to a kid, just showing up and being present for doing every little thing that they can do can mean the world to them. And for my kids, like if I just watch them play, that's like the best thing for them. And then it's hard because you know my job keeps me away from them for so long.
Yeah, for sure.
So when I'm not always around, I try to make the best of it when I can. But sometimes they just be like, I be tired. They just be ready to move on to something different.
Yeah.
My son's in school now, so that's always, you know, fun. Like I come home from school, he come home from school, I come home from work. I ask him how school was. He's willing to tell me about stuff like that. It's that, and then also just so there's no parenting book. There's no set way to parent. So just trial and error, the feeling of feeling like I don't know if I'm doing the right thing by them is always in the back of my head. You know, like I always try my best to make sure that I'm the best father that I could possibly be. And sometimes it might not always be in the best looking way. Like,
so what do you think? So yes, there are challenges, right?
mm-hmm.
But what do you think of some of the upsides and the blessings that come with headache? Trust me, being a father, being a husband, like it comes with headaches because you're learning your spouse, right?
Yeah.
Because you know them as as a friend, and then a boyfriend and girlfriend, then you marry them, and then you have kids by them. So now you gotta learn a new person to them because now they're a parent, now they're a mother.
Yeah.
Like, what are some of the blessings about that?
The blessing, just the kids themselves, man. Like my kids are amazing people. Like I myself am not always willing to admit it. I don't I'm not like I'm an extroverted person, but I really don't like people a lot. Yeah. But I love who my kids are, man. Like my son is hilarious. My daughter is the sweetest thing whenever she wants to be, but when she can, she's a Sour Patch Kid to the fullest. Yeah. Some days she just wake up and she want to be in a bad mood, and I gotta let her. But like, and then also just you can attest to this too. When you come home from a long day, man, you know, been working, somebody done pissed you off at work, and then you come home and you see the kid and the smile, they hug you, dad's home, man, that you forget about everything. My daughter and my son can make the worst day easily get just like that to the best day ever, man. Just by just running, just coming home and hearing how happy they are to see me is just the best part of the best things ever, man.
I feel like it's two reactions when you come home. No, like as a father and as a husband, right? When you come home, you be like, all right, pull into that garage, right? You outside the house, you looking at the house, and then you put a walk in, you be like, damn, the damn kid, because it's not like it's a bad thing.
It's not, but
It's
like
just you finna see some crazy shit. You
the
gonna
house
walk in,
destroyed. They plan. You thinking like you just don't know. You don't know what you're gonna see. And you like,
yeah.
and then you run home, and then like you said, they just run up to you, daddy, and I'm like, oh yeah, that was
You
that.
might walk in the house, the diaper might be there, the baby over there, your wife freaking out. She's like, "I'm so glad you're home," and you like, "I don't know what the fuck's going on." So you trying to
My
you
daughter
trying to
down there
figure
and
out
having a fit right now.
how do you manage it so that you can be there for your kid and like be playing with your kid and like take some of the stress off your wife, because like a lot of it is that like because your wife is at home with the kids majority of the time, especially if you're not to say like you're the only working parent,
The main
but you're the
breadwinner, yeah.
main breadwinner.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little harder on them because
It
people
is.
think that having kids is easy.
It's not. I stayed home with the kids for a little bit today. We kind of have this balance of knowing what each kid does and doesn't do, and my wife definitely does shoulder a major brunt of the child caring when I'm at not a major. She pretty much does it all by herself when I'm at work.
Yeah.
So when I do come home, like especially if I have an evening shift day, I do my best to take off as much as I can. The kids need something, they'll go to call her. I'm like, no, I got it. It's like you said, it can get rough from time to
Yeah,
time,
man.
but just knowing that, I guess my thing is knowing that I'm there in the capacity that I can be sometimes just isn't enough for me, because like I know that my wife needs more.
Yeah.
I've always seen it. I try my best to do as much as I can with what I'm able to do, but sometimes it just ain't enough, because kids, they're people,
Yeah,
so
yeah, for sure.
they got needs just like we got needs, and sometimes their needs aren't always as logical as ours.
Yeah.
Sometimes my daughter needs to do something that I'm like, do you really have to do this? And I'm like, yes, I gotta go in her room and literally let, like, a couple of days ago she had a paintbrush out, she was doing my makeup, like just little things that I didn't think would be that big of a deal. My Jordan likes to have him watch me play. Like he likes to literally just have somebody sit in his room and watch him play.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. So like little things, like I said, and that's why I said presence is the biggest thing sometimes,
So do
because
you feel like not to cut you off or nothing like that, but like so I didn't have that presence as like I didn't have that father presence. Like I had a
mm-hmm.
father figure and I had a dad, right? But I didn't have that presence of him being there. So do you sometimes feel like you think of new ways to try to be present in your child's life at all times?
Yeah, I do. Especially now with me about to get out soon, I'm thinking of like just all the things that I can do. Like I'm starting like to like push myself away from the Navy more so,
Yeah.
and trying to make more time. Like I just took my son and my daughter to a play park. What was it, 2 weeks ago?
Mm-hmm.
Stuff like that. I come home, I play with them as much as I possibly can that I'm like that they want to let me do.
Should
Um,
think about it.
yeah, because sometimes they don't want, like, sometimes they don't want to play. Sometimes they just want to watch TV, and I got to be like, you know what? All right, so I might just sit in Jordan's room with them and watch TV
Yeah.
sometime. Um, I've started to like let them watch me play the game. Like they want to come in here and watch me play the game. Or I'll let Skylar like press some buttons on the controller or the keypad or something when I'm playing the game. Just
Yeah.
little things to try to show them like, hey, if you want to come spend time with me, you don't always have to be just, you don't always have to say, hey, dad, I want to go do this. Like, I'm
Yeah.
always willing to let you do something within my circle of things. It's just sometimes, obviously, as a human, I need time for myself too.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
for
like,
sure.
yeah, when I'm playing a game and I'm like, all right, or after I got done playing with them, I'm like, all right, let me sit down and play a game for about a couple hours. And they like, nope. Like, I like you get the balance sometimes, but sometimes
Yeah.
you get a little bit like, all right, like let me chill. But I gotta remember that my kids don't always understand that dad needs time to himself. So I
Yeah,
try
yeah.
my best to, remind myself that they're only kids. He's only 6, she's only 3.
Three,
They
yeah, for
haven't got
sure.
they haven't gotten that thought process of dad needs time to himself yet. So whenever they do want to spend time,
Mm-hmm.
I do calm them down. I'll be like, all right, I'll come spend time with you after this game. And then after the game, they make sure, hey, dad, you said, come on. Skylar will be like, come here, dad, let's go.
They be
So
like, bring that ass over here.
like you promised, so come on. I'm like, all right, I'm a man of my word. I said I
Yeah.
would.
I
I got,
think that like a challenge, not really a challenge, but my son would be like
I'm talking right now, Jordan. What's up? There they go
See,
right
just like
there.
that, like my son is the same way, man. I'll be playing a game or whatever, and he want to come sit in my lap. Like, I'll look over the couch to his little barrier, and he over there cutting the food, man. He screaming, yelling at. I can't hear him, headphones on, but I can see him like, Daddy, Dad, but he couldn't talk, so it's like, Dad, Dad.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely, I definitely understand being a father and
Yeah, I
trying to
got
play the
it.
game and get your me time as long as.
Learning how to play with one headphone on was definitely a skill that I'm glad I picked up because that just keeps me attentive to them in the game. I'm like, all right,
Yeah.
like
Future
it's
guests on the podcast, we got the Wilsons.
yeah. These are the two little young ones. Jordan, what's up? What you need?
Yeah.
We got movies.
Can
Okay.
you go in your room now, please?
Camera, action.
Okay, Skylar.
So we back. So as you can tell, that was the Wilsons. All both of them, all two of them.
Them my two little. They my little gremlins, but I love them.
All right. So now we getting into it. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Icey Almighty.
Yeah,
That's you, ain't it?
that's the game. That's the internet alter ego. Yeah, that's me.
What got you in the game, man?
Gaming has just been a lifelong hobby. Like for the longest time, ever since I could remember, way back when, I've loved gaming. Like I said, my first system was a Super Nintendo. This wasn't even like this was before the 64. So I had the Super Nintendo. Yeah, I had the like the old school
I know
Mario.
you talking
Yeah,
about, yeah.
I had that.
Had the little what's the spaceship game you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I had a little Zapper game and all that other stuff too. And then
Duck Hunt.
yeah, my first, and then I had my first, and I got a PlayStation 2, but that was a hand-me-down actually. That wasn't even my first real like.
Yeah.
So that wasn't even. I didn't get my first new system until I got an Xbox. Actually, that was my first new system.
The big bulky joint.
Yeah, the original joint.
Yeah, the one with the fat controller.
Yeah, that's the one I had. So I had the fat controller. I didn't even get the joint with the skinny controllers. Yeah, I had the real dumb big fat controllers.
Y'all kids don't know nothing about that.
Yeah, man. This is before. Like this is back when online gaming was like you had to be like rich to be an online gamer for real.
For
like,
sure. So, what made you decide to take your love of gaming and then start streaming?
I've actually always thought about being a streamer since I was younger, but I never really had like the time. Not necessarily the time, but I felt like I didn't have the funds or the ability to do so that I couldn't do it myself because I always would see these people that have like these nice setups. And I was like, I always think to myself, I don't have the camera or nothing like that. Not realizing that I could be doing this with pretty much just the system. And I probably could have started when I was younger and been going. But what really got me started was my boy Eddie and my boy Lost. They actually started a gaming channel one day, and I was like, you know what? If these two can do it, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put myself out there and try to do it. And so I made sure I shouted them out too. I was like, y'all two are the inspiration for this. And that's where Icey Almighty came from for real. I started out on Facebook actually. Just wasn't really working out for me. So I moved over to Twitch, started making YouTube channels, videos and stuff like that. And it grew from there. I'm actually like, where I'm at now, I'm slowly affiliated, but it's any growth is good growth. And I just like I said, this isn't even really a job. This is a passion. So I'm not really trying to, make a specific goal immediately starting out. I'm just doing this just because I love what I do, and everything that comes from it, is
what it is. You know what I'm saying? Because realistically, the purchasing of all the parts and the systems and the software, the cameras to the mics,
like everything you see, it's an investment for real. But I mean, but this is an investment into
yourself.
Yeah, like this stuff is just me. Like it's just something that I wanted to do. Like I enjoy. Like I built that computer myself.
I know you did.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that's what I mean. Like I built it myself. So like this is something that I enjoy doing. So it wasn't like I was doing it with the intent of getting a monetary return. I mean, I would like to eventually because that would just solidify that my work is going somewhere. But building computers, streaming, gaming equipment, that stuff is just what I love to do. So it was just one of those things where I'm like, if I can do it, I'm gonna do it.
That's how I feel about the podcast scene. It's like yo, like my favorite podcast out right now is Shannon Sharp's Shay Shay Club.
I'll be watching
Club Shay Shay.
Yeah,
that dude's so funny.
Shannon Sharp is just a character altogether, bro.
Yeah. And then you got $1 Million with the game. They really giving out knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so even they'll get the biggest artists, celebrities out, and maybe like 10 minutes of that might be like some dude they thinking actually give knowledge to help our teens, to help people our ages, like just help
Yeah, you
everybody
never
out in general.
something like you
Yeah,
said, knowledge can come from anywhere. You don't have to be famous or to be like a genius to give somebody something. Like even if I don't know something and you tell me something,
yeah,
even that little bit of knowledge can go a long way. You never know. That might be the knowledge that somebody needs to break through to do their next big thing. You
for
never
sure.
know. So that's why, and like that's just it. Like I do this because I want to be the common man streamer. I want somebody to be like, if this guy can do it,
Yeah,
this guy with 2
I
kids,
can do it.
like anybody can do it. And like I said, anybody can do anything. Like, and I want my kids to see that, like, anybody can do whatever they put their mind to. Like, I
Facts.
don't always have the time to stream. I don't always have the time to sit down and create videos. But when I do, I put myself into it because I'm like, this is me. Like the last video I made wasn't even that long of a video. It didn't take me that long to really make it. It just I took the time to like make sure I got everything right, adding my stuff to it because like you said, I want to put out the best product possible. And
For
sometimes I
sure.
think that's a hindrance and a blessing at the same time.
Because sometimes you over critique yourself to just putting that information out.
I am my biggest critique. I am my biggest critic. I am my worst enemy. Like if
Yep.
there's anybody that's gonna say something bad about my video,
It's gonna be me.
it's gonna be me. And my wife will sit there, she'll be like, babe, it looks good. And I'll be like, I don't know. Maybe I need to do this. And I'll be like,
Yeah.
I'll be sitting on the video for like 3 days because I'm thinking that I'm missing one little piece,
Yeah.
not realizing that one little piece I'm thinking I'm missing is not really that big of a deal, or it was just sitting there looking me in the face and I'm over examining my video. Like I said, I over critique my stuff so much.
Yeah. So don't, for anybody out there who's thinking about doing podcasts and streaming gaming, don't if you have an idea and you feel like it's a good idea, you know what I mean, go with it, run with it. You know, like I've been wanting to make a podcast since like COVID came out. Like this is 2020, like beginning of the year, right? And I started seeing them come around, and I was like, shit, I want to do that. Like this seems like interesting, fun. Like I can spread knowledge. Maybe I know some people that I could get them to spread their knowledge as well from wherever they got. Like I'm big into coaching. Like I coach my little brother in high school. I coached him in track and in football. All right, so both of them. I coached both of them in track and in football. Then I ended up getting a chance to spread knowledge out to their friends, right? I'm not even really worried about their friends. I'm just telling my brother their flaws because hey, regardless, we competing. Well, we competing again. We competing again.
Exactly.
So I'm like, hey, I might be saying some of the stuff a little louder than normal, but I might be like, hey, Quan, you gonna beat him because he has all the natural speed and raw talent, but he has no technique. So no matter how fast his coach tells him to run, no matter how far they say to do this, they'll never be able to beat you because you have technique. Like, they can't beat you. Because that's how these sports work. Like if I'm working harder the correct way, no matter how hard you working wrong, you'll never beat me.
Hard work beats talent, but talent don't work hard. That's the saying right there.
Yeah. So when I got a chance to make this podcast, I was listening to Deion Sanders Jr. Because I follow the Sanders family heavy. I follow all 5 of his kids.
Them boys, that's a legacy right there.
Yeah, and his son was just like, he's like, if y'all want to get into this podcast world, y'all want to get into this YouTube world, he's like, I use my phone, I use a camera, I use my iPad to edit the videos, I just post it. He's like, the hardest part about making these videos is posting it. So I was like, man, I really want to start this podcast, and I kept letting stuff hinder me. Like, I don't have the Nikon, whatever.
You don't have the fancy camera or the fancy lights. You don't
got the mic.
You see what like, and that's the problem that I think a lot of people, and for anybody else, this is my thing.
Yeah,
I'm gonna tell you this much right now. Spending $5,000 on equipment is not going to mean you're going to produce $5,000 quality level of production.
For sure.
I can tell you this much right now because I've spent all the amount of money that I could. Well, not all, because trust me, if I put more money into this, I'm pretty sure I could. But you can put as much money as you want into it, but you're only going to get out of it what you put into it.
Yep.
And no matter how much I got, a better computer than probably most people out there got.
Yeah.
But if I don't put in the work to do what I need to do on that computer and get it right, somebody with a half a decent computer's mind can put up just as good, if not better, work. So it is you that you need to worry about, and that is what has become. I realized that this, like I said, this stuff is my investment into me. It's not investment into streaming, because at the end of the day, I am having fun with this. What's up? No, come here. What's up? What's wrong with him? Sorry, my son's having a mental breakdown. But like I said, you invest in yourself. You don't invest into the stream. The stream is you. You are the product. And what you invest into yourself is good. You invest into yourself, you get a better product out of it.
Yeah. So
that's it.
Like, you know how, with that being said, right?
Mm-hmm.
We as a black community have to be able to invest in yourself. Be willing to take that risk to invest in yourself for your future. If it's not for your future, for your kids' future.
Exactly.
At the end of the day, if you let anything, like literally anything, hold you back from being the person that you can be, your kids are going to see that, and they're going to be like, shit, my dad didn't do that because of this. He found excuses and found reasons not to do it. So
your kid,
I started doing stuff, so my son can never say like, oh, my dad didn't do that, because he never had no excuses. So if my son wanted to play basketball, football, gymnastics, whatever he wants, fucking graphic design, be an astronaut, I want him to know there's no excuse why you can't reach your goals.
Never. I'm not going to say, I'm never always like, you're right, no excuses. You never want to give yourself any excuses, but don't let it be an excuse that you give yourself.
Yeah.
Don't ever let you be the one that's holding you back. Because when it comes down to it, life is holding you. Go look for it, Jordan. I think it's in the car. I'll go get it after. I'll go get it in a second. Okay, kid? Okay, go in your room. But like I was saying, man, and especially for you young black men out there, if you are watching this, the world has enough to hold you back already. It does. People are going to look at you and see what they want to see. They hear what they want to hear and view you as what they want to view you as. Just don't let nobody else give you any excuses for why you can't be what you want to be. The world is going to give you enough, because the world views us in a certain light. They already look at us and think we can't be like, they think negatively of us as especially black men.
Yeah.
And so I just, especially for my son, like having a son is something that I've always prided myself on, making sure that I raised him to be not necessarily overly proud, but somebody who can stand on his own 2 feet and look at the world and be like, I'm ready to take you on. If that's the ultimate victory as a father for me, is to look at my son and say, I know he can take on the world.
Yeah. For sure, these are facts of life. Right. So now, finna get into it, dog. We're going to take a little turn.
Okay.
Talk about some sports.
Let's get it.
Let's talk about football.
Let's talk about it. We can talk about that all day.
Your man Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
Hey, just like a lot of black quarterbacks, he got a lot of crap thrown his way. Talking about he could never be that good of a quarterback. You know, he had his job stolen in Alabama in a national championship.
That is like the epitome of, like, we all understand that as athletes, it's the next man up mentality. But to have it happen on national TV and national championship
second half, really third to fourth quarter,
like it, and then like no knock against Tua. Tua was amazing in that game. He was good in college, and he's still good in the NFL. Yeah. He's a great player. Like, so
he got benched. He got benched in the second half of the next year's following championship game.
Yeah, Alabama's ruthless, bro. They are.
But
but the transfer, like, his story is amazing. To get benched in the second half of the national championship game.
Yep.
Transfer to Oklahoma.
No, he stayed. He stayed the first year. So the year he got benched, he stayed.
But he transferred eventually, is what I'm saying. He ended up transferring.
So they go back. They go back to the championship game.
Yeah.
They win again, but they win with him that second time.
Yeah, but he transfers and goes to Oklahoma. He got drafted out of Oklahoma.
His junior year.
Yeah. So he got drafted out of Oklahoma, and like he got drafted. And so for those of y'all, if anybody's not an Eagles fan, we had what was supposed to be our franchise quarterback already. Carson Wentz was supposed to be the man for us.
Yeah.
And
but y'all had Nick Foles go win y'all Super Bowl like 2 years before that.
So Carson Wentz got hurt. He was never the same, but they still wanted to go in because, you know, they moved up to get him. They moved up to get him, to draft him second. So, you know, that was supposed to be our guy. They draft Jalen Hurts in the second round as, like, you know, like a I guess what would you call
Kind of
it?
a baby insurance.
Yeah, insurance policy. Like as you like pretty much what a lot of people, including myself, I can honestly say that when we first got Hurts, I thought that Hurts was just gonna end up being potentially okay if Wentz don't work out, transitional piece.
Yeah.
Somebody who can keep it moving. Probably keep us competitive in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Maybe because that first year when he took over as starter, we sucked for the first half of the season, and
Yeah,
we
for
got
sure.
we turned it around, and we made the playoffs.
Yeah, but it was too late by the time y'all turned it around.
But we still made the playoffs, and we made it as a wild card spot. We ended up getting put out by the Bucks. Granted, I mean that was the year.
Bucks did win the Super Bowl that year.
No, they did. They win the Super Bowl that year.
That year, yeah. His rookie year, the Bucks won. The Rams won last year.
That was the year we got put out. Was last year because he took over his rookie year. He took over like
his rookie. He been in the league for 3 years.
Yeah, his rookie year he took over like the last couple of games.
Yeah, that's why y'all got put up by the Bucks.
Yeah, and no, that was the year we got put out by the Bucks.
The Bucks put y'all out last year too.
They put us out last year. We didn't even make the playoffs his rookie year. Because his rookie year was the year that we got those tanking allegations and we got Devontae Smith the next year.
Ah, yeah, and they said he was too small.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but so Jalen Hurts has been through a lot, man, and because you got to remember too, the dude's a running quarterback. That has always had a stigma in the NFL. Nobody wants to believe that a running quarterback can be the franchise guy of a team.
So, but have you noticed he's been throwing a lot out of pocket this year? But he's throwing in and out of pocket. It's really about
he has
half
a high percentage rate of throwing. He's not a scrambler. That's what I don't think people understand. He's a running quarterback, but he's not a
scrambling quarterback. Okay, yeah.
That's the difference. People think running quarterback and immediately think one of those like they think of Lamar. They think of Michael Vick.
Yeah.
He's not a scrambling quarterback.
He's more like Russell Wilson.
He's going to a lot of his runs are designed runs. He can make something go when the play breaks down, but he's not running back and he's not running east to west. He's running north and south.
Yeah, he's not running east to west spam move. He's not spamming the B way.
He's running north to south. If he's running, he's running.
And he squats 600 pounds.
Yeah, that's a strong motherfucker. I didn't realize that until they told me that when they was talking about that. I was like 600 pounds as a quarterback. That's a strong.
I feel like y'all would get more of a y'all got a really good defense. Mind you, 2 of y'all players on there went to the University of Georgia, Kobe Dean and Jordan Davis. Hey.
I love them boys, man.
Like my son say all the time, he be like, "Go dog."
Hey, listen.
Hey, back-to-back championships beat the hell out of
Georgia
TCU.
Boys. They not look. I used to think they just was able to produce running backs, but they can produce more than that.
We produce everything. Just gonna let it know.
Yeah.
We had like 15 people in the first round, or is it 15 to 8 people in the first round?
Yeah.
Most of them went for defense for sure.
That I think I saw a stat that since the year 2001.
Yeah.
There's been a Georgia player in the Super Bowl.
Well, just 5 every year, yeah.
Yeah. So they the school, man. Forget Roll Tide. They the school, man.
Hey, see, my man's already know what I'm talking about. All right, so let's get into it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, Eagles, Chiefs, both black quarterbacks.
2 black quarterbacks, first time in NFL history. 2 black quarterbacks have started in the Super Bowl.
Think about where we came from, right? Back in the day, if you want to be a great quarterback, first you had to be a pocket quarterback, and predominantly most pocket passing quarterbacks were white,
Caucasian, yeah,
white.
Yeah, they were white.
So now we at this point where we got 2 dual threat quarterbacks. One is really more of a super threat with his arm and his vision, and Patrick Mahomes, and Jalen Hurts is really that dual threat.
True dual threat.
Both his legs,
design runs. And
with the design runs, not the scrambling runs. Like he has good presence outside the pocket when he's scrambling.
He's smart enough to know what to and what not to do with the ball, and that's what I think I like about both of them. Is because people act like you said, Mahomes is putting up like 4,000, 5,000 yards.
The dude was laying down and threw the ball.
But people forget that Mahomes can still move and still do this stuff. He's what the media tried to gas Aaron Rodgers up to be early in his career. Creating plays. He is that like Mahomes, I openly admit it. He is that good.
He is what is the word they say nowadays? Him. He's him.
He is him.
He's Timothy McGee. He's Hemi Neutron.
He's that guy, man. Like
hey, you know who he is? He Melvin from Baby Boy.
Yes, bro.
He whispering into your ear, telling you I can kill you right now, but your mama saved your life.
He is that good.
That's a bad man.
The thing is that he's only been in the league 5 years?
Yeah, he came in the league He came in the league the year. What's the Alex Smith broke his leg.
Yeah,
He was in the year at the same time.
5. That's crazy that he's been in the league only just a little bit of time.
They've been to Super Bowl 4 times in the last 5 years. No,
3 times.
3 times in the last 5 years.
Yeah, 3 times in the last 5 years.
They won.
All
they lost,
the AFC Championship games have been in Kansas City. He has thrown for 5,000 yards. Like I think twice, if I'm not mistaken. If not, at least once.
It's either 5,000 yards twice or 50 touchdowns twice.
Yeah, but
one of those
crazy
stats.
thing like that. He's been an MVP. Like but the crazy thing is that he has not entered his prime yet.
Do you think? All right, so looking at we got both MVP candidates.
Go in your room, baby. Close the door, please. Can you close the door? Can you close the door for me, please?
All right. So, who you got for MVP this year, dog? MVP, most valuable player in the National Football League. If you ask me, I think I'm gonna go with Patrick Mahomes. Personally, I would go with Patrick Mahomes. I know that if I had to choose a non-quarterback, Justin Jefferson. He gets my nod.
Easily. So if there wasn't such a quarterback-driven award, then I would, like you said, first of all, I'm going to say this much right now. Justin Jefferson goes for 2K, the receiving yards. I think they have to give it to him at that point. I think they have.
I think he was under, though.
He would, I don't think, if he went for 2K, they had to give it to him because nobody else did it, so they would have had to give it to him. But I got to go. I think that Jalen Hurts being out and us losing those 2 games the way that we did proved that he is as valuable to the team as people think Pat Mahomes is. And the crazy thing is I'm going to say this much right now. I hate to say it, but Patrick Mahomes proved that he is just as valuable as ever because he lost the number 1 threat on his offense this year and never missed a beat.
Well,
but I still got to give it to Jalen because I think Jalen meant more to his team's success than Patrick Mahomes did.
Okay, devil advocate, right? But if you take Patrick Mahomes off that Chiefs team, do they even make the playoffs? Because you got to think they don't have a running game. Y'all have a running game, and y'all have defense, top tier defense.
Yes, we do.
Also, wasn't your defense top 5 in the league for most of the season?
Top 3, actually. So
were the Chiefs defense top 5 in the league? Top 10 in the league?
No, they weren't.
All right. So if you take it, playing devil advocate, yes, Jalen Hurts when he did not play, that Gardner Minshew, and we was like, who the fuck is these Eagles? I mean, mind you, when y'all did lose to the Cowboys, it wasn't a bad loss because also Gardner still put up 36 points.
Yeah, he did. That was just Dallas letting us go. But here's why I'm gonna say Jalen is more valuable in the intangible aspect. Not to say that Patrick Mahomes isn't the leader of that team because that is clearly his team, but I definitely think that team rallies around itself more than that team rallied more than what I get is that they can still push themselves to be something without Pat there. Whereas Jalen being there, he's like kind of like the heart and soul of the team, you know, like in a non-football playing standpoint.
You were explaining Patrick Mahomes to me. You were explaining Pat. Pat
Mahomes is the heart and soul of that team, but in a gameplay standpoint, but they have other people on that team who can step up and be that leader aspect. Whereas Jalen, the Eagles, and you got to remember too, since McNabb, the Eagles never really had a solid solid quarterback for when I say solid, I'm talking about a franchise quarterback.
That's crazy.
Vic was a solid quarterback, but he was not a franchise quarterback. He was not going to be a quarterback that
Vic gave y'all a great 3 years with Deshaun Jackson.
Great 3 years.
Yeah, but that's all. But the motherfucker, he was already playing the league for goddamn 14
That's
years.
what I'm saying. That's not his fault. The point that I'm getting at though is they were never going to build that team around Vic.
Yeah. Okay.
And then when Carson Wentz got hurt, he hit a complete 180.
Hey, but all I'm saying is, look at what Patrick Mahomes is doing. Because you got to think, the Steelers treated Juju like what? A throwaway?
Yeah.
They throw away everybody. They throw away Chase Claypool to the Steelers.
First of all, Chase Claypool is decent, but he's not like that.
But even still, they threw away the only person they didn't keep him. It was just because they had just drafted him was George Pickens. That's the only receiver that.
That's because that was the one. Because like you said, Juju. I think they had just paid Juju, or they were about to have to pay Juju.
They were supposed to be playing Juju, but this is the difference between Juju and Chase is Juju's your short route receiver. He's your slot. He's really your true slot.
Mm-hmm.
Antonio Brown back then was your outside receiver. And you had Clay, which Clay was
Chase Claypool, who is like supposed to be the replacement for AB. But the thing is, first of all,
he was making plays down the field.
He was making plays.
So, but that shows you what I'm saying as your devil's advocate is that you got Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts, they gave you AJ Brown, and you know who he was.
He's a beast. I said he was one. Listen. I'm gonna go on the route.
Who your tight ends?
Dallas Goedert.
And who else?
Jack Stoll. Decent enough, but like I said, I'm gonna go on record and say before Jalen.
Who's your running backs?
Running backs: Miles Sanders, love the dude, Boston Scott, and Kenneth Gainwell.
Now name the running backs for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Isaiah Pacheco, Jared McKinnon. Those are the only two I know. I can't remember the third one.
And ask me how long they've been in the league.
Pacheco's a rookie.
Exactly.
And McKinnon is a veteran.
Who was the running back they drafted specifically to have a running game?
Who?
Clyde O'Hare. And that motherfucker's hurt. Because he stayed hurt. He's been hurt since he got drafted.
Like I said, I go ahead.
So if you're basing it the most valuable player to your team, right? But you also gotta take it to the aspect of who had a better team. The Eagles had a better team the whole season.
They have. We've had the best team. We've had the best team. But
Patrick Mahomes is just a better player.
He's a great. Like I said, Patrick Mahomes is a great player.
So if he's the better player with a lesser team, is he not the MVP? And still put up the numbers that he put up? I'm just saying.
But that's all right. So let me go ahead. No, you're right. I'm about to play you on my advocate.
Okay.
Advocacy. Okay. So here's my advocacy on it. Your team is only going to be as good as your best player. Am I correct?
That's true.
The thing is, that offense runs entirely through Mahomes. The amount of passes, the amount of everything that they do runs.
They throw the ball like 56 times a game.
Exactly. So if you put any decent, and I'm not going to say that Mahomes is just a decent quarterback, but if you put any decent quarterback in a position where they're throwing that much, unless they are just complete, and like you said, unless the quarterback's complete bum, the numbers are going to speak for themselves. Any average quarterback, you expect the average quarterback to put up what? Anywhere from 250 to 300. Average quarterback will put up about 250 a game.
You're really just asking for about 175, about 225.
175, but I'm saying but in this game is about 200. Yeah,
if you give me about 225 and 3 touchdowns, we good.
225, 2 touchdowns. Let's say that.
But that's with a good defense.
Yeah, that's on an average team, like you said, average team. 225, that's on an average amount of times that they pass the ball as much as they do. Like you said, they have no running game. So they don't run the ball that much.
Okay.
The Eagles are splitting the amount of, like I said, we can hit you with run, pass, whatever. Jalen Hurts is a part of the running game. People always want to talk about that and always want to say, well, he's a running quarterback. I'm like, okay, so you have to include the fact that this dude had like 500 yards rushing. In addition to the 30 whatever, because I think he had like, 3,700 yards passing and 500 yards rushing.
Mm-hmm.
So for a total of about 40-something, for about on average, I think he was like, and I think Patrick Mahomes, like you said, still out yarded him by about maybe 400 or 500 yards, if I'm not mistaken.
I mean, I feel like this year for Jalen, it's close to what Lamar was doing, but not.
Lamar was a 3,000 to 1,000 yard rusher.
Yeah,
that's like we're talking. That's
he was really showing his legs off.
Yeah, I was about to say that's like if you're on 1,000 yard rusher as a quarterback, like Justin Fields was almost 1,000 yard rusher this year.
Yeah,
that we can talk about that. I think that's more of a problem than it is a solution. My fault. It's more of a problem than it is a solution because if you are running that much as a quarterback,
yeah,
you're opening yourself up to injury.
Mm-hmm.
You really have no need to have a running back at that point because if you're a 1,000 yard rusher as a quarterback, your running back is essentially back there as what? Dead space. So you're not utilizing your running back to the fullest. And on top of that, it's not efficient to me. Like I said, a running quarterback is fine, but for 1,000 yards, you either need to be that damn good, which Lamar was, or you're running the ball too much.
Okay.
So that's what I was getting ready to say. But like I said, power to him, but I don't think that if a quarterback's going for 1,000 yards, there's a problem in the offense that needs to be addressed.
I mean, honestly, if I'm not to say Russell Wilson was not an athlete, Not gonna say that.
He's not. Yeah, he's athletic, a quarterback, obviously.
But when they was running that triple option of him, Marshawn Lynch, and Turbin,
That was funny.
boy, in Madden, I was a dog.
But see, that's the thing. Russell is one of those quarterbacks. Russell is the perfect example of a mobile quarterback who's mobile as a necessity and not so much as a threat.
Yeah.
Like he's mobile because
But the threat that he had,
the threat that he has keeps team honest enough to where they're not going to let him run all around wild. Like you're not just going to not rush him because you don't want him, because you know if you don't rush him, he's going to take off and go downfield.
Yeah, for sure.
But he's not the type of quarterback where like you don't want to like you like Lamar. You have to contain him.
Yeah.
Because if you don't contain Lamar, that's a touchdown. Like Lamar's an open field runner. He's an open field runner. He can break tackles. He can make moves.
Mm-hmm.
Russell, you don't necessarily need to keep him contained, but you need to not let him run wild. But like I said, but you gotta remember, Seattle had a terrible ass offensive line at one point too, so he had to run to save his life.
But the triple option.
But the triple option is there. But like I said, but that's the thing with Jalen Hurts is like they built the team around him. So you can't take that away from like it's the same thing. Like you said, the fact that Patrick Mahomes is so good is honestly just as much of a detriment to him as possible because they feel like they don't need to break the bank on talent for him. Yeah. Like Travis Kelce's really his only real receiving threat.
That's the only person they're gonna break the bank on.
Exactly. So
I mean, they did have the option to break the bank on Tyreek,
but they didn't want to. They didn't want to break the bank as much.
So they offered him a good grip.
They did, but he wanted more.
Nah, the Dolphins just offered him in crazy amount of money.
He wanted more. Tyreek went where the money went.
That's it really was. He wanted more. He was like, because he did an interview. He said, I was gonna sign, but the Dolphins was like, shit, we'll give you this.
And see, that's the thing. He was and like it wasn't like
if you offer me 300 M's.
That's what I'm saying. It's not really a matter of he.
Hey, what he do? He did
the church finger.
Gotta go.
But yeah, like it's not a matter of him wanting more, so to speak. It's like one of those things where it's like, all right, yeah, y'all offer me this nice grip, and this team is offering me this nicer grip. Yeah. And then you kind of looking at the team that's offering you the original, like, so y'all gonna match or are we? And then he was like, well, I gotta go where the money's at. Yeah. And it wasn't like you said, it wasn't like he was like, because I don't think he left on bad terms. It was just like, this is where the money at, man. Like, and I respect him for it because he's one of the best receivers in the league. So
top 5.
He easily, I'd say top 2 because honestly, to this year it was him and Justin Jefferson.
So looking at it, right, I was going to say we could do top 5 black quarterbacks, but I want to make it a little harder. I want to go top 3 black quarterbacks to ever play in the National Football League.
Top 3 to ever play.
So if you ask me, we got top 3. I'm not going off, man.
If you
it's a longevity and all that. So as well. So right now, how I see it, me personally, I got not Lamar Jackson. I got Michael Vick, number 1. I got Cam Newton for the era and the time and the wave
when he was dominating. He was the most dominant quarterback.
Carolina was going crazy.
Cam Newton was the most dominant quarterback in the NFL when he was playing.
And then I got Patrick Mahomes.
So for me, and I don't know if people are going to call me crazy for putting him up there too soon, but my top black quarterback to play the game right now is Pat Mahomes, bro. I just think that.
Yeah.
Yes, baby.
Can y'all pause for 5 minutes and help me?
Yeah.
Can you get your son out the bathroom?
All right. Top 3 quarterbacks. All right. 3, 2. All right. So let me get it. Yo, top 3 black quarterbacks. My top 3. I got Patrick Mahomes. Okay. Not in the order. If I rearrange it, put in order. Michael Vick. So these are biased. These are not. I'm not looking at stats, but this is what I've seen.
Personal.
The research that I've done. I got Mike Vick, Cam Newton, and Patrick Mahomes. Not in that order, but you can't fight me. You can't say them not top 3. Look at their eras. Look at what they did for their time. Them top 3. I don't care what nobody say. McNabb, I can see. Russell Wilson for the time that he had in Seattle.
Yeah, I can definitely.
But for me, my top three, my number one, honestly, already, and people probably gonna say blasphemous for putting him up there this high already, but I gotta put Pat Mahomes at the number one spot, man. The dude has done a lot, like more than most quarterbacks do in their entire career.
Multiple 50 touchdowns.
Like more than most people do in their career in 5 years. Like this dude, like realistically, I'm not trying to say he will be Hall of Fame level right now.
What are you doing?
But he is on pace to be going to room.
Right.
Jordan.
He didn't get in the camera, so it's good. We can. But like I said, I think this early in his career, Jordan, close the door. Thank you. I think, but yeah, this early in his career to be this dominant, like it's like I'm not gonna say it's unheard of because plenty of quarterbacks have dominated, but to do what he has done, obviously the league has evolved.
Yeah.
But he's just done what most people to win a Super Bowl, MVP, 5,000 yards, 50 yards. Like these are things that most quarterbacks don't do until they reach their prime. And he is, we could consider him to be entering his prime. Like we don't even know if he's reached his prime yet. So to speak.
It is true.
So there's that for number one. Number two, I gotta put Vic.
Vic for sure.
Like anybody who says that Vic is not a top three black quarterback of all time is honestly drunk because what he was able to do, he revolutionized the position of quarterback.
And drank up that damn beer.
Yeah, y'all, go in your room, baby. Close the door. Close the door, Skylar. Close the door. Thank you.
See you later.
But yeah, he revolutionized the position, man. Like Lamar Jackson wouldn't be even thought of as a quarterback without people like Michael Vick. Yeah. And then number three is I gotta say Doug Williams, man. Like the first black quarterback to win a Super Bowl is without a doubt just it's history. Like
I see
you can't like, and that's just like you said, like, and it's not even about, like you said, it's not about the stats. It's not about the impact. Like, it's the impact that he had on the game and history. Yeah. Like you said, nobody thought that like the quarterback is supposed to be the position on the field. Yeah. And for the longest time, nobody thought that anybody other than a white man could lead a team to that level. And so for us to have to, like, we're talking about having the first NFL Super Bowl with two black quarterbacks.
Two of them.
But we can't forget that we have to have one win one before then. And so now, like, it's crazy. But yeah, those are my top three. Cam is definitely somewhere up there. We can't forget about Randall Cunningham.
Lamar Jackson.
Lamar has solidified himself as the probably, I'm gonna say this much right now.
He is a definition of a double threat.
Bearing any unforeseen catastrophic injury, Lamar will go down as the best running quarterback in NFL history.
For sure. Yo, mind you, the year he won MVP, that first game of the season versus the Dolphins,
he took the football. He took over that game.
That dude threw for like what was it, like 350?
And he ran for like a buck.
He was hitting what's his name? Hollywood Brown? He was hitting him down the slot.
Like the dude,
over the shoulder, bro. He be dropping dots. Like his arm strength is crazy because it's not like he has the typical, follow the elbow, overhead throw.
He has the same. His mechanics are similar to Vic's.
Yeah, but it's natural talent and natural just greatness.
Yeah, it is. So, but yeah, the quarterback. Like I said, those are my top three. It's gonna be a great game. Like I said, these are literally the two best teams in the NFL, man. So
who you got winning for the Super Bowl?
Honestly, I got the Eagles winning, obviously. But I got the Eagles winning in a close. I think this is going to be the first time that people give us we've actually played a real team. I think it's going to be a real good game.
Yeah.
I feel like it's either going to be, I don't feel like our defense is good, but I just don't know how we're going to be able to contain Mahomes. That's just the problem. I know he's hurt, but even still, the dude is just,
yeah. When you think about containing Mahomes, it's not just containing him from like running around in the pocket. It's about containing his arm because he's throwing it over, he's throwing it side arm.
He can just get rid.
He's throwing the ball behind the back.
The way that he can do it, like it's hard for us to do. So the only way we can really do it we're going to have another San Francisco situation. The only way we can really stop Patrick Mahomes is to knock him out the game. And I don't think we can do that. Because the dude's tough as nails. So.
He coming in the game. He's staying in the game.
He's gonna we gotta kill the dude in order to keep him out. So
the dude during the the Buccaneers game was on, bro, laying down on the sideline, throwing the ball.
Let me tell you this much right now. I would not.
That man was risking his life for that game.
I'm gonna say this much right now.
Risking his life.
It would not surprise me if Patrick Mahomes had like a slight tear somewhere in his leg that he's not letting people know about because he wants to play. If the MRI comes out and they were like, oh yeah, like it was like a partial meniscus or something like that,
yeah,
I would not be surprised.
You know they do say that some athletes get hurt, like they hurt their knee or whatever, and they don't realize they tore their ACL or something like that, and they'll play on their ACL the rest of the game and not realize their ACL is torn.
Mm-hmm. Like
Kevin Durant was talking about that shit. He was like, yeah, I was when the injury happened, he's like, I was fine. Right, I went back out there. I was like, I'm good at whatever, right? Like, you know, my knee hurt a little bit, but I'm fine. And then whenever the trainers like, you know, there's a lot of players that get back out there and keep playing and don't even realize that their ACL has been torn the whole time.
Adrenaline be pumping, bro.
Yeah,
especially like if you were like in a clutch or a crunch time situation and the adrenaline pumping, and then when you go to sit down after the game and all that, you calm down and you like, wait a minute.
This hurt.
Yeah, but yeah, so it's gonna be a great game. But of course, I got my Eagles winning, man. I'm gonna say the score is going to be.
Let's hear it.
I'm gonna say 35-28. I think it's gonna be a touchdown deciding game. I don't think it's gonna be too many. I don't think nobody gonna score field goals, man. I don't think nobody gonna one shot settle for field goals in this game. I think because both teams go forward on fourth down a lot. So if you get, unless they get into like a 4th and 5 situation in the red zone, I don't think they're gonna kick too many field goals, man. Especially if Eagles getting 4th and 1, you know we're gonna sneak it. We're gonna put the whole lineup and sneak Jalen Hurts under there with that 600-pound squat. So
yeah, that's crazy.
But yeah, I think the Eagles will win this second. I think we get our second Lombardi Trophy this year, man. This is it's unless we have to.
Y'all got a whole trophy up there for fucking Nick Foles.
Because man, he was the first one. The first one.
I got a whole statue for Nick Foles.
Calling the Philly special. That was
the whole yo. When I seen it, so I went to the Navy Army game. I know I'm walking up. I'm hyped because it's Navy versus Army, so I'm hyped. I'm like, yeah, we finna beat the Army. We did.
You see that statue?
We fucking did. So I get up there, we walking. I'm like, is that Nick Foles?
Yep.
Oh, that's Nick Foles.
Maybe Philly.
So I take a picture next to the statue and everything. My homie take the picture next to the statue. We walking. I was like, yo, this is crazy. Like, so. But then I drove around feeling that I was just like, damn. Like, I understand why they're so excited to win something. You know what I mean? Like, Philly had a lot of good things happen to them, and this is the really good thing.
1933. This team has been around since 1933. We have won NFL championships before the Super Bowl became a thing.
Yeah. But
never won a Super Bowl. We've been to 4 of them. Before, well, this is our 4th one. We've been to 3 of them. The Patriots. I remember when the Patriots beat us.
Yeah.
That hurt my soul.
I mean, yo, we got the Nick Foles one.
Yeah, so we thinking that we could get this one. This yet to be seen. I think we're gonna get it, but I'm not gonna.
I definitely had money on that Nick Foles one.
Everybody had money.
And I won.
Everybody had money on that game.
Shit, everybody thought the Tom Brady was gonna beat him.
No, I knew. I told everybody that. I was like, once we made it to the playoffs and once we beat the what's it called? Once we beat the Falcons to get to this
Hey, whoa.
Once we beat the
You're
Falcons.
not talking about the Falcons.
No, but like
just leave that game out of it.
But here's the thing.
No.
I'm giving y'all props. Because I'm giving y'all props.
It was bad.
It was, but
we sucked.
But here's the thing. Once we got past them, I felt like the only team that could have beat us was the Saints at that point. And the Saints decided that they want to. Tracy Porter decided he want to miss a tackle. But
no. The Falcons and the Saints came in the Super Bowl at the same time. We're in the same conference.
The Saints decided that they don't want to tackle, so we had to go face Minnesota. We saw what happened with them. Minnesota been frauds ever since I can remember, man. But
all I can say for us Falcons fans is 28-3. If you don't look at that,
I am still mad.
It's the saddest game in life.
I was mad because I want. You know how bad I wanted y'all to win that game.
28-3 in the Super Bowl.
You know how bad I wanted the Falcons to win that game.
Ownership, there's nothing but everybody else around me. I'm talking cash money. Cash money.
And then you just
bet money with anybody and everybody. luckily, a lot of people forgot the best they made would be at halftime. So when the score flipped, I was like, no. Remember, you said you didn't bet me, so I saved some money. But still, bro, I'm talking cash money. Bro, we lost.
I wanted the Falcons to win.
In the hangar, baby. Just
I did.
Inside
I don't think
myself.
people understand how bad I wanted the Falcons to win that game because I have always when he was, especially when he was on y'all team, Michael Vick was my favorite quarterback. He always was my favorite quarterback, bro. So I love the Falcons. I do.
28-3.
I love the Falcons.
And then they talk about Dan Quinn should be a coach for the Cowboys. No, he shouldn't. He
knows. He knows.
He is terrible. That man said, "Oh yeah, we're gonna play cover 2 and cover 3 on Tom Brady." We didn't play cover 2. We played cover 3.
Why?
And we played cover 3 safe. The rest of the Super Bowl.
Tom Brady don't throw the ball downfield.
We was blitzing the whole game. The whole first half we blitzed.
Why
On the second half, all we did was play cover 3.
Why was y'all playing cover 3? Tom Brady don't throw the ball downfield.
And they hedged. And they gave custom. I said, yo, you know what? We're not finna get into that.
Yeah, that's painful for Falcons fans, but
28-3.
Eagles getting the Super Bowl this year. That's all I'm gonna say.
So all right, you got Eagles. I got Chiefs. I got close game. I got 28-21. I think that's how the game ends.
28-21.
I got 28-21. You can call it.
We can call it.
All right. I see in the hill. 28-21. I got cheese up. All right. So now we're gonna get to our last segment of this podcast, right? Anime and gaming. Cause this is all you, dog.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So I know you've been playing a lot of when you be streaming, you be playing a lot of Call of Duty. How do you feel about Call of Duty? Where is it at this moment? With Warzone 2 dropping, like how do you feel? Like, give me a brief explanation.
Call of Duty has taken, in my opinion, the biggest. I'm gonna say, I don't know how to say it. Like they've taken so many steps forward in so many areas, but the areas that they needed to take steps forward in, they took major steps backwards.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna start with the positives because I feel like Call of Duty doesn't get enough of the positive vibe that it should get. The game in and of itself, obviously it's a AAA title, so it's gonna look amazing. The graphic quality I feel is amazing. The feel of the guns themselves feels great. I feel like I'm actually playing like with an actual. I feel.
Right. So, getting to the end of the podcast, right? I know that you really into anime.
Yes, I am.
So, me personally, I'm not into anime. Don't really watch it as much. I dibble and dabble here and there. You know what I'm saying? I watch what I can. I watch what I want to watch. You know what I'm saying? I'm not
That's fair. That's
fully invested, right? If you were to give me your, not saying top 5 of all time animes, but give me like 3 or 4 that you would be like, hey, if you're trying to get into this anime scene or watch an anime, what 3 or 4 anime TV shows or mangas would you tell me to either watch or read to put me on?
To put people on. So I tend to avoid. I'm gonna tell you what I think it's easy to tell you what I tend to avoid starting out with because a lot of people always want to jump into this, that, and the third. I avoid anything that has that's too long. So obviously we're taking out One Piece, we're taking out Naruto, like the entirety of it. I'm talking about from the beginning to Shippuden. If you want to watch Naruto, the beginning of it, like the first part, that's a good intro. One that I always tell people that is very good that you can start out with is something called Gurren Lagann. It's a mech anime. It's kind of like Gundam. You can also go for any of the Gundam series, but Gurren Lagann is probably what I've been pushing people towards. It's older. It's like came out about 2007, so it still has that hand drawn kind of esque feel. It's a good story. I think it's only like 24 episodes, so it's not too long, but it has a deep and it tells a decent enough story in a short amount of time. What other one would I recommend? And then if I'm looking as far as manga are concerned, the good thing about manga is that you can read manga at your own pace.
Yeah.
So any manga is really open field. Just pick one that tickles your fancy, and you won't be disappointed. The good thing about manga is that, like I said, most of the manga are mostly ahead of the anime. So if it's an animated show, usually the manga is already ahead of the anime. So if you start reading the manga, you can catch up to it, the anime, a lot faster because there's no filler involved. Like, anime, they be having filler and all that other stuff.
Yeah, for sure. So it's like every TV show in general.
Yeah, so you can catch up on the story. So say if it's an anime that's still ongoing and you want to watch the anime, you can read the manga and then catch up to the anime. But good intro. I would say another one. People have been telling me, I haven't really caught on to it that much, but Jujutsu Kaisen. Eddie, my boy Eddie, is very high on that one. It's a good manga to read and start out with. I've heard a lot of people say, but try to avoid anything that's, like I said, too long. If you want to go mainstream, obviously Naruto is the biggest one that I think people would probably jump into. You can't go wrong with any of the Dragon Ball series in them of themselves.
Yep.
They might not be, they're not long, so to speak, but they're simple enough. It's not really a deep story. You can just get into it. Just honestly, just watch one, man. I tell people all the time, if you just watch one,
you might enjoy it.
Yeah, you might enjoy it. Just find something that you think you might enjoy. If you don't enjoy it, find another one. That's the good thing about anime. Like you said, you don't have to be the people who gatekeep are the problem, but you don't have to be the person who watches this number of deep, non-mainstream anime to be a fan.
Yeah.
My favorite anime is One Piece, probably the biggest mainstream anime that people can talk about, and I love it. I will talk about it to the day I die. And I don't feel discouraged about anything about any of that. My first real anime was a show called Ronin Warriors. That was something that a lot of people hadn't heard of. Some people don't like it. Some people do like it. It is what it is. Not everybody's gonna like everything about. Not everybody's gonna like every anime.
Yeah.
So,
everybody's not gonna like everything she likes.
Exactly. So you don't have to worry about And then starter. I mean, it's what you. If you want to watch something, if you want to start One Piece with One Piece, go ahead. You got a long way to go, but. I'm not going to tell you that but I'm not going to tell you not to. Like, I would just not recommend you to, because if you get worn out on it, then that might be, I don't want that to be your first and lasting impression of anime, because you don't want to finish any other anime because this one's too long. Like, that's just how I tell people. Okay. So yeah, that's just about it. I mean, there's not really that deep into it. Like, anime ain't that deep for real. It's animation. It's supposed to be entertainment,
Yeah. So with that being said, it was a pleasure having you on, my boy.
Of course, bro. It's always a pleasure, bro. Any other time you need somebody or if you want to talk in, like I said, any of this other stuff, I'm here, bro. Just hit me up.
Yeah. Outside of DC a little bit more often, you'll probably see some more. You'll probably see some more of him. It's your boy, Icey Almighty. DeMarco just might. With that being said, we'll get up with you next time. Stay safe. Be blessed. We love y'all.
Stay fresh. Stay icy. I love you all. Thank you for having me on here again, my brother.
Yeah.
All right, let me go.